This is Amongst the Books, a podcast by kids, for kids, and yes, adults too. Welcome to episode 5. With Thanksgiving approaching, we wanted to share some titles you can enjoy with the members of your family. So allow me to turn the mic over to Melina, who is the host for today's episode. Now, on to the show.
It has been said, never give a child a book you wouldn't read yourself. A love of reading is timeless. It's shared across generations and begins at home. Read aloud to a child with a parent, grandparent, or even siblings is the first step in creating an appreciation for reading, and it helps to foster creativity and imagination. But don't think only small children enjoy to read aloud. Older children and even adults like them too. When a kid reads to an adult, they become more comfortable with public speaking and developing their vocabulary and building a stronger bond with both the book and the listener. November is National Family Literacy Month, and with Thanksgiving right around the corner, it's a perfect time to share some of your favorite books or stories with your family. So after you get your fill of turkey, stuffing, and pie, curl up with your family in a book and explore the possibilities of worlds both real and imagined.
We wanted to take this short break to mention if you want more information about National Family Literacy Month or other days of celebration, check out nationaldaycalendar.com.
Not sure what to choose? Here are some that are sure to spark interest for each member of your family. For the middle schooler in your life, Sunny Rolls the Dice by Jennifer and Matthew Holm. Too cool for school or the least groovy girl in the grade? Sunny's just made it to middle school and it's making her life very confusing. All her best friend Deb wants to talk about is fashion, boys, makeup, boys, and being cool. Sunny's not against any of these things, but she also doesn't understand why suddenly everything revolves around them. She's much more comfortable when she's in her basement playing Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of her new friends. Because when you're sword fighting and spider slaying, it's hard to worry about whether you're cool or not, especially when it's your turn to roll the 20-sided die. Trying hard to be cool can make you feel really uncool, and it's much more fun just to have fun. Epic Fails: The Age of Exploration by Eric Slater. Christopher Columbus is one of the most famous explorers of all time, but he was neither the first nor the last adventurer to ever stumble upon a great discovery. From the Silk Road of Asia to the icy shores of Antarctica, our knowledge of the world today is in large part due to several intrepid pioneers risking life and limb for the sake of exploration. After all, setting off into the dark unknown requires an enormous amount of bravery. But every explorer quickly learns that courage and curiosity isn't enough to save you if you can't read a map or trespass on somebody else's land. Level 13, a slacker novel by Gordon Corman. Cameron Boxer, king of the Slakers, has found something worth his time. By playing online video games in front of an audience, he can find both fame and fortune, especially with Elvis, a beaver who seems to love video games as much as Cam. At his side, the only problem: things keep on getting in Cameron's way, like school, and the club he accidentally started, and the misguided people in his life who don't think beavers should be playing video games. It's going to take some trickery, some close calls, and a fierce devotion to slacking in order for Cameron to get to his goal, conquering the game's unfamous level 13. But if any slacker can do it, Cam can. Midwinter Witch by Molly Knox Ostertag. Aster always looks forward to the Midwinter Festival, a reunion of the entire Vanison family that includes competitions in witchery and shape-shifting. This year, he's especially excited to compete in the annual Yulrun tournament as a witch. He's determined to show everyone that he's proud of who he is and what he's learned, but he knows it won't be easy to defy tradition. Ariel has darker things on her mind than the festival, like the mysterious witch who's been visiting her dreams, claiming to know the truth about Ariel's past. She appreciates everything the Vanisons have done for her, but Ariel still craves a place where she truly belongs. The festival is a whirlwind of excitement and activity, but for Aster and Ariel, nothing goes according to plan. When a powerful and sinister force invades the reunion, threatening to destroy everything the young witches have fought for, can they find the courage to fight it together, or will the dark magic tear them apart?
Read amongst the books feel family literacy shouldn't be limited to 1 month. It should be celebrated all year long. Simply taking time to discuss what you are reading can make a huge difference in the life of a young reader. Try having a family reader aloud night, or think about starting a family book club. These small acts can change the way you and your child relate to reading. But before we go, we have a few more books for you.
For the beginning and elementary readers, The Pigeon Has to Go to School by Mo Williams. Why does the pigeon have to go to school? He already knows everything. And what if he doesn't like it? What if the teacher doesn't like him? What if he learns too much? Ask not for whom the bell rings. It rings for the pigeon. Horse and the Buggy Painted It All Out by Ethan Long. Horse is all set to paint a mural his way. Obviously, to Buggy's suggestions that a bit of planning might be a good idea. But as the horse knocks over paint cans and sends brushing flying, he relents and accepts some help from Buggy. This is Taco, written by Andrew Kangaroos, illustrated by John Shipley. Taco, the squirrel, won't let some books tell him who he is. This hilarious send-up of a children's natural primer teaches kids the most important story is the one you write yourself.
We wanted to take this last quick break to say thank you to you, the listeners. It is through your support that helps keep us going. The students are working hard on upcoming episodes, and we are excited to share them with you. Okay, back to the show.
For teen high school readers in your family, Fear of Missing Out by Kate McGovern. For fans of Fault in Our Stars, every teen has a fear of missing out on something, a party, a basketball game, a hangout after school. But what about missing out on life? When Astrid learns that her cancer has returned, she hears about a radical technology called cryopreservation that allows terminally ill patients to freeze themselves until a future time where there is a cure. She sets out with her supportive boyfriend and her best friend to see if this is the path she really wants to take. What will Astrid miss out on if she goes through the cryopreservation? What will she miss out on if she doesn't?
Polar Explorer by Jane Hamster. From her first trip to Everest Base Camp as a young woman, Jade Hamster knew what she wanted to achieve, the impossible. Jade battled atrocious weather, unbelievably low temperatures, and a sled that weighed almost twice as much as her to become the youngest person ever to complete the polar hat trick. Jade became her quest to complete the polar hat trick in April 2016 when she's 14. She became the youngest person to ski to the North Pole from anywhere outside the last degree, the point where most people begin, and was named Australian Geographic Society's Young Adventurer of the Year. But that was just the beginning.
A Long Walk to Water by Linda Sue Park. The New York Times bestseller A Long Walk to Water begins as two stories told in astonishing sections about two 11-year-olds in Sudan, a girl in 2008, a boy in 1985. The girl, Nia, is fetching water from a pond that is 2 hours' walk from her home. She makes 2 trips to the pond every day. The boy, Salva, becomes one of the lost boys of Sudan, refugees who covered the African continent on foot as they search for their families and a safe place to stay, enduring every hardship from loneliness to attack by armed rebels to contact with killer lions and crocodiles. Salva is a survivor, and his story goes on to intersect with Nia's in an astonishing in moving away. Thank you guys so much for listening. My name is Melina.
And Annabelle.
And have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. Thanks to Melina and special guest Annabelle for hosting. Each of these books can be found at your local library or buy them as a gift for any of the readers in your life. The holiday season is fast approaching. Amongst the Books is produced by me, Emily Skrezik, in our school library. Please subscribe, share, and rate us wherever you listen to podcasts. We can be found on Twitter at amongstthebooks_podcast or on Instagram at amongstthebooks_podcast. Our theme music is written and recorded by Jake Thistle. Jake can be found at www.jakethistle.com. That's JAKETHISTLE.com. Be sure to check him out. He is a true talent. Wishing you all a safe, happy, and food-filled Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening, and you'll be hearing from us soon.